While Chaos Knights have gotten their shiny new codex, Imperial Knights still have to wait a minute for theirs. To bring them in line with their spiky brethren, the Imperial Knights Index got a few changes of its own. While these changes are small, they're majorly impactful to how this army will play and how they'll fit into the meta. I'm heraldry enthusiast Campbell McLaughlin, and today we're looking over this odd little update to the less spiky varietal of giant chainsaw robots. We'd like to thank Games Workshop for providing us with a review copy of the Index. As always, we appreciate liking and subscribing, and for more info on Knights of all stripes, head over to Goonhammer.com. Link in the description. So what's new? There are only a few updates here, but they're substantial, and they mirror what we saw for Chaos Knights. And if you haven't watched our Chaos Knights review, you should, it's good. But if you're pressed for time, here's the short version. Durability changes. Every knight lost a point of toughness on its stat line, while at the same time gaining some extra wounds to compensate. That's 2 more wounds for armigers, and 4 for everything else. That helps offset some of the loss of toughness, but as we examined in our Hammer of Math article, that depends on the weapons you're using. Dominus saves. Similar to the Knight Tyrant, Dominus Knights went from a 2-up to a 3-up save. OC changes. The objective control characteristic on armigers dropped to 6, down from 8, and that's compounded by bracketing for armigers. Armigers now bracket. In other words, they lose effectiveness when they have 5 or fewer wounds remaining, including a drop from OC 6 to OC 3. The long and short of this is that armigers are overall more survivable in most situations, while your bigger knights are more vulnerable to a few important breakpoints, primarily strength 6 attacks, which were wounding them on 6s, but are now wounding them on 5s. Conversely, the extra wounds help you tank additional damage from mortal wound abilities like the Grenade Stratagem and Doombolt. The change to OC is in many ways a bigger deal. At OC 6, you can't just out-control most units in the game by throwing an armiger on an objective and holding on for dear life. This means you'll need to play a bit more conservatively with those units, but that's less of a change for Imperial Knights than it was for Chaos Knights, since that army had a heavier reliance on War Dogs. There is one difference in durability between the two flavors of Knights, and that's the Imperial Knights' Noble Lance detachment. This detachment gives them a 6-up Feel No Pain, which maths out to an effective extra wound on your big knights. That still increases to a 5-up Feel No Pain after getting honored, making them even more durable than their heretical cousins, and effectively offsetting that toughness decrease. The other major angle here is the points. While the cost of armigers didn't really change, all of the Titanic Knights did. They all went down to the mid-300s, with the exception of Canis Rex at 380 and the Dominus coming in at 395. That's a 115-point discount from before. The cheapest big knight is now the Preceptor at 335, which means you can run 6 big knights with 3 of those and 3 other mid-range knights. So what does that mean for the meta? Well, if you're not an Imperial Knight, nothing good. These steep discounts were effective and edging on too good with Chaos Knights, but they're even better here, where you have good access to hit and wound rerolls in your big knights, and your durability drops are offset by that Feel No Pain from the Noble Lance detachment. That access to rerolls does more than you'd think, helping ensure you make the most of your low volume and high quality attacks, which tend to hit on 3s. That 3-up to hit often leads to whiffed attacks and disappointing results when the dice don't quite go your way. Rerolls fix this problem, adding consistency where you need it. These changes don't necessarily improve that, but they do put you on an even more aggressive footing with access to an additional big knight to torment your opponents. Final thoughts. This feels like a knee-jerk reaction to Chaos Knights getting similar points drops, and doesn't really account for the fact that these are very different armies despite their superficial similarities. Imperial Knights players will be hooting and/or hollering with the list options available to them now. Obviously you can just improve on the previous Canis formula, but you can shove so many dang knights in these lists now. Time will tell how this all shakes out, but we think it's gonna be a big knight summer. For more about knights, squires, and all the rest, head over to Goonhammer.com. You can also support us on Patreon for exclusive podcasts and bonus features, or subscribe to us right here on YouTube. I've been Seneschal Campbellus of House McLaughlin, first of his name, last of his line. Thanks for watching.